What's up, guys? Ribbon here.
And I'm Talos.
Welcome back to another episode of Just the News Network. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the PS5 and the Xbox UI and do a quick comparison. And in the later half of the episode, we're going to talk about GameStop's new partnership with Microsoft. Timestamps and links to all the articles will be down in the description below. Like and sub if you enjoyed the video.
And guys, if you haven't already done so, be sure to follow us on our Twitch. We do stream there every Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Schedules are kind of like been fluxing around, but for the most part, that is our schedule. But we can always fluctuate due to various reasons. But we'll definitely be streaming there. Link in the description.
With that being said, let's get on with the news.
All right, let's do this.
Alrighty, moving on to our first topic of today's episode. Just this morning, they released a video which takes a look at the PlayStation 5 user interface. Now,
Yes.
this is something we've all been speculating about what the new updated next gen user interface might look like.
We did get a little bit of a teaser of this during the PS5 showcase, the state of plays.
Mhm.
But now we're getting a full look into this UI.
Yeah, they're saying this is like I think like a earlier build, so it's not going to be exactly the same as we're going to see when the PlayStation 5 releases in November.
Correct.
Thanks, Nishino-san. Welcome to your new PlayStation 5 console experience. This time, we've started up from rest mode. We've already created an account and signed into PlayStation Network, so let's log in. In this case, I've resumed right where I left off in Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
What I really like about this is the fact that they actually show the gameplay of the game you're playing in the background with the actual, whatever the official news screenshots and whatever.
With the menu icons. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
From here, it's one click and we're right back into the game, but let's take a moment and look around. The control center is always one tap of the PlayStation button away. It provides immediate access to almost everything you need from the system without leaving the game. This includes things like seeing who is online, checking the status of a download, managing your controller, power, and more.
What I really like about this new user interface, I feel like there's like less scrolling. You know, it's like everything here, like all your icons are here at the very bottom. You can just select them, and maybe you do a little bit of scrolling like around this part, but for the most part, it just seems to just be more, streamlined.
Yeah, but what I will say though is the stuff that you do see in the middle that is scrollable is like stuff that's like in-game stuff, like news on the game that you're playing, screenshots that you made with the game,
Right.
as well as your achievements and stuff like that. I would imagine.
Yeah.
These colorful characters are called cards, and they let you interact with games and the system in a variety of ways. First, as we've just resumed, the control center is showing a special card that allows me to get up to date on recent stories posted by publishers for games I am following. Another card here shows me recent media I've captured from my gameplay using the Create button on the DualSense controller. Let's check out one of the most powerful new features of the PS5 console. They're actually just to the right in this row, and we call them activities. Activities are part of the plan to remove barriers to gameplay. Let's get an example of one way they're used in Sackboy: A Big Adventure. With a tap of the PlayStation button, I'm back to playing the game. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is packed with things to discover, and each level represents one type of activity I can play, many of which I can go back to later to discover more. I tap the PlayStation button to bring up the control center again. I can see a number of available activities, both active and suggested by the system. Let's take this first one, A Big Adventure, as an example. I can see that I haven't quite completed this level yet. I'm at 33%. Let's open it up and see more. Here I can see more information, including key objectives I have.
That's
and I'm
pretty
seeing
cool.
a very important piece of information here. It says about 10 minutes left. This is PlayStation 5's personalized playtime estimate, giving me an idea how long it will take me to complete this activity.
That's
Some
pretty cool.
activities even let you jump directly to that place in the game. But there's more to see here. For another example, let's open that activity back up. it looks like I missed an objective to find the monk robe's costume piece. Looks like I need a little help. Some in-game activities, like this one, offer official game help. Game help is included as a benefit for active PlayStation Plus members in some PS5 games. In this case, I can open up that objective to get some hints without resorting to a web search or digging through long videos or articles that might contain...
What do you think of that, though? That's pretty cool, right?
This is an interesting feature. On the one hand, it adds like more value to the PS Plus subscription. You know, other than giving you like a free game and the ability to play online and stuff. But
yep.
Honestly, as like an old school gamer, I'm not a big fan of it.
I agree. Like it feels like makes the game too easy now.
Yeah, it's they're definitely they're definitely leaning more towards more casual gamers, maybe like younger gamers as well. But me
also might be it might be also game specific. I don't think it's going to be every single game is going to have those hints. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. But I mean, in the end, it's just better. It's just better in general. You know, it's because we do want games to be more accessible, and if people need help playing, then I don't see what's wrong with that. It doesn't affect us, right?
Yeah, and also too, like, it doesn't give you the answer to that problem. Like, it gives you hints, and that's what they were talking about here. Is they don't give you the solution; they just give you like clues of how to get to that area. Yeah. But it's still a cool feature, nonetheless.
Yeah.
This particular hint is a video, and I can play it here in the card, and I can expand it to get a bigger view without leaving the game. Sometimes it's really useful to be able to see the hint on screen while you play. Some cards can be put in a picture-in-picture mode, or as shown here, a side-by-side view. Super cool. And if you pin a card, you can access it via the control center at any time. Now let's go find those rascally monk robes. The team at PlayStation wanted to make it really easy to chat with your friends on the PlayStation 5 console. So let's check out how it works. Here, I'm opening an interactive notification with a tap of the PlayStation button, and I've decided to join the voice chat that my friend just entered. Now, my friend could have done this on the PlayStation app for mobile devices, from a PS4, or in this case, from a PS5. The DualSense controller features an integrated microphone too, so I could start talking right away. But I always have the ability to hit the mute button on the controller or in the menus. Parties take on an expanded role with PS5, and they now provide persistent spaces to connect with groups that you play with. Here I have a couple of friends chatting away in the party. One of them has started sharing their screen with the group. Looks like they're playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. We can chat while we play, and I can watch his progress as well.
That's pretty cool.
This is another card that could be put in picture-in-picture mode, or pinned to the side while you play. You can access it anytime via the control center too, but let's dismiss it for now.
Wait, so that's your friend's screen? You can watch him play as well?
Yeah, you can watch him play like a live stream while you play your game in picture-to-picture mode.
Right.
That's pretty badass.
Right. So
I would assume.
What I want to know is how much more like bandwidth is this using up? You know?
Yeah, I would imagine you probably need some decent internet to make it all work and streamlined and not laggy and whatnot.
Yeah, because that's like one thing that people don't like take into consideration. The consoles are just getting more advanced, but are we keeping up with like our internet?
The big thing that I talk about, because I work in IT myself, but so the big thing that we talk about is making sure that it doesn't bottleneck. And there's a lot of potential bottleneck, whether it be your actual router itself, whether it be your internet provider and what you have in your service there, and of course the hardware to use to interact with all that, your Wi-Fi connection and all that. So there's a lot of bottlenecks that can happen with the connectivities, and I feel like if people are not keeping up with their internet to keep in speed with the PS5, then you won't really enjoy the features that it does have, which is unfortunate.
But to be fair, this is like kind of unnecessary. It's not like it's not gonna break the game if you can't use it. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
Exactly.
an extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Picture-in-picture mode, or pinned to the side while you play. You can access it anytime via the control center too, but let's dismiss it for now. Okay, let's review. So far, we've seen how activities on PS5 will make it easier and faster to hop back into PS5 games, and how you can get in-game help and chat with your friends. So that leaves online multiplayer gaming. Let's check it out. I see that some of my friends are online, so it's time to say goodbye to Sackboy for now and spin up a match of Destruction All-Stars. One of my friends in the party has already started a match, and we can join them from this card in Control Center.
And I would assume too, like that game you were just playing can also be a quick resume where you just jump back to where you left off.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's not running in the background. It sort of just goes into sleep mode. So if you ever just need to go back to it, you just, hop into where you left off.
Correct.
So let's jump in. We're keeping the
focus
focus on the PS5.
I know the Xbox has that.
Yeah.
Because I know the Xbox has that feature, so I would imagine this one also does too.
Yeah, but it's funny how if Sony did have this feature, I wonder why they didn't advertise it more, because it's a cool thing.
It is.
User experience today, so let's zip ahead so we can see more. And just like that, we're in. We don't have time to play a full match today, but I do think we have time to take a quick photo. To do that, I'll just tap the Create button on the DualSense controller. PS5 is always capturing recent gameplay, but when you compose a shot, even using in-game photo mode, you can capture a high-quality screenshot here. This optimizes capturing the moment, letting you review and choose to share later on. I should mention, screenshots and video can be captured at up to 4K on the PS5 console. Okay, so far we've shown off how to jump into activities, how to chat with your friends, get into groups together to play, capturing gameplay, all of that while in-game. But what if I want to play a different game?
Go back to the last game we were playing.
Welcome to the PlayStation 5 home screen. This is where you'll land when you start up from a powered off state, and where you'll go when you want to choose a new game to play or download. The layout of the space is designed to present games and game content beautifully on a 4K display.
Yeah, it looks so good. The one thing
is very clean.
Yeah, it's clean. That's exactly it. The one thing I don't like about the current UI is I feel like everything is just so like cluttered. Like the screens feel so cluttered in your face. Now here, like the menus, like the icons are just much more smaller, and then you just see much more like the background.
Yeah, or whatever game you're playing or going to play.
Yeah, it just looks so much more cleaner. It looks almost like a desktop or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for. And also, the top right corner, you have your bio and your settings and your search menu. Look, like I said, very clean.
Simple and super fast access to what you need. And in case you're wondering, media-related apps will have their own space like this one, but today we're focused on gaming. Each game has its own hub completely integrated, so all you need to do is scroll down to see activities you can jump right into. Video clips, stories about the game, DLC, and more. Backward-compatible PS4 titles will benefit from some of these features too. Let's move one spot to the left and check out Explore, which brings together all your games. We saw a view of this from the Control Center earlier, and another view will also be in the new PlayStation app for mobile devices. Explore keeps you in the loop with official stories from PlayStation and from all the games you're following, including trending media from the community. We'll be testing and learning about this feature in the US at launch, so not everyone will have this on day one, but it gives you a good idea of the direction. And this is PlayStation's store for PS5.
Hopefully, the loading of the PS Store is quicker, because I noticed on the PS4 it takes like a hot minute for the PS Store to pop up and generate stuff.
Yeah.
And here you'll be able to browse the latest games and deals. You'll find PS5 games and many backward-compatible PS4 games too. I'm sad to say, but we are almost out of time. So let's pull up Control Center one more time with a tap of the PlayStation button. On our way out, why don't we quickly share that photo we took in Destruction All-Stars? We can find recently captured media in this handy card in Control Center. From here, we can do some quick edits, but I think I'm ready to share it right now. On PlayStation 5, I have the option to share videos and images to supported external services, or I can send them directly to one of my parties.
Now, this isn't like a new feature. Like the PlayStation 4 already has this. So, I want to point that out. For anyone who doesn't already know.
Remember, parties are bigger than just voice chat now, so I'll select one of my favorite parties here. Let's attach a quick message here. The DualSense controller makes this really easy. PlayStation 5 supports voice dictation in a number of languages, so you no longer have to type messages with the keyboard if you don't want to. Simply select the microphone button. Here's a cool detail. If my friend hasn't yet played the activity where I captured this media, and the game's developer thinks that activity might contain spoilers, they'll receive a warning before they view it. Well,
wow, that's a
I like that.
That's a cool little
nugget.
That's it for our
very
demo.
Cool.
There are many more exciting features we couldn't get to today, but we're super excited to share more of the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation app user experience with you in the coming weeks headed to launch. And of course, this was just a first look at what fans could expect on day one. The team at PlayStation is committed to evolving this experience with our community in the months ahead.
I just like the fact that you could just I like the way it has the hints. So basically, like if you're like lost, like really lost in a game, they'll show you like hints and clues of how to solve it. And I thought that was a really cool feature. And I also like the feature where like if you're sharing a screenshot, they won't show any spoilers. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah. I just like how fast and seamless everything is now. You know, just being able to leave your game and jump into like another one, and then just to jump back into your game to continue where you left off. I think that's like a...
They haven't fully tested that or at least showcased that, but I would imagine it's how it is. Like basically, you could just jump back and quick resume where you left off. But so far, I'm definitely loving that. But they mentioned that this is only the first of the showcase, or at least for the UI aspect of it. So they didn't show any of the media stuff, as well as I guess other features that might be included with the UI that we don't know yet. All right, guys, we just checked out the PS5 UI. Now let's go and check out the new Xbox Series X UI.
Craftsmanship in UX is about understanding your user and paying extreme attention to detail. What that console does for you needs to be effortless, fast, and welcoming. My name is Chris Novak, and I'm the head of Xbox Research and Design.
I'm Katarina, and I'm a program manager on the Xbox Live social team.
My name's John Hildebrandt. I'm the principal program manager lead for the Xbox experience.
Playing Gears and Halo competitively and going to tournaments was so important for me growing up.
I've been a gamer since I was a kid. I've been a gamer as long as I can remember.
I get to go and come to work every day and make the lives of tens of millions of gamers better.
One of our biggest goals is always to make sure that our players on Xbox get into their games super quickly.
The Xbox Velocity architecture and quick resume systems maximize that time you can actually spend playing when you're sitting in front of your console.
Home now loads over 15% faster when you boot your Xbox. It is almost a third faster to load when returning from a game. We've updated the visual language, the information architecture. We've streamlined every aspect of getting into your games, from discovering your next favorite game to getting together with friends to play.
We've taken the destinations that everyone visits most often on the console, home, guide, and store, and focused not only on their craftsmanship, but also in reducing their footprint to maximize the console horsepower available to games.
And we were actually able to fit those improvements in almost 40% less memory.
When we think about gaming and what makes it so special for billions
just
of people
talking?
around the
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes, and they're just like explaining it. I feel like it's a terrible video compared to the PlayStation 5 one.
Yeah, I agree.
world, it's not only about the gameplay and the graphics and the awesome experiences that game developers build, it's really also about the communities and the people we meet when we're playing these games. The social
I just want to see it.
Yeah.
have on Xbox are some of the most powerful and energizing sparks of creativity and productivity for Team Xbox.
How do you capture those moments and share them with others? For many gamers, their phone is the core of their social connection. We knew that we needed to let gamers reach out and share the anticipation, the excitement.
If it's about you capturing a sick gameplay video that you really want to post in all the social networks, we want to make that as easy as possible.
Now when you capture on the console, it's sent to your phone to share instantly, making it easier to get that moment to your friends and ensuring that you're not standing around in the middle of some match trying to type a message on a virtual keyboard. Frankly, there are some things like text input that a phone does much more efficiently than a controller, and now you can harness that power. Those were all isolated elements, and now we're bringing the experiences together, coordinating with the Series X launch as a celebration across all of Xbox. It's just how it should work, and where you'll see us continue to push, so the way you choose to play is always the best way to play.
These changes are being made across Xbox One and Series X, bringing everyone into the new experience.
Everything that we're trying to deliver, it's all for our gamers.
All gamers are welcome on Xbox. We'll keep listening, and we'll keep building great things together.
Okay, it was more like a promo video than actually showing out the
Yeah.
do we,
It looked more like a commercial, to be honest with you. Like a lot of them were just like mouthing off a couple of like fancy words and technical jargon and gobbledygook, but yeah, it's pretty underwhelming compared to the PlayStation 5, because the PlayStation 5, at least they showed you, they literally just showed you everything here.
and that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted.
It's faster and better architecture and so. Like, what does that mean?
We're gamers, like just like you.
What does that mean? Like, show us the connectivity between like the phone and the Xbox. Like, I kind of agree. It might be easier to just like to be able to share your your gameplay clip or something, instead of
Powerful.
I mean, I don't even think it's really a problem on the PS5 since everything is so fast and seamless. But yeah, being able to share it in real time through your phone rather than interrupting the game and stuff like that, it's
But the thing is though, that I know with the PS5 they had picture-to-picture stuff, where this one is like you have to use an external device, which of course you'll have, but it's still an external device in order for you to share stuff, where it's not like built in, it seems.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the layout looks very similar to what we already have for the Xbox One X and all that. Like kind of like before, like to me it just feels too cluttered to me. Like they could have simplified a bit more. But I feel, to me, I'm not really feeling it too much. I don't know about you.
Well, I'm not familiar with. I've never owned an Xbox, so I'm not too familiar with like the Xbox and their UI.
Well, yeah, but what you see here is pretty much what you see on the previous. It's probably a little bit less cluttered, but it's about the same.
So I guess the takeaway that we can get from this is like we prefer smaller icons instead of like larger ones that clutter up the screen.
Yeah, but of course that's just our personal opinion. Obviously, like the UI is very you either like it or you don't like it. You know what I mean? Like it's like your own taste.
Yeah. So
for us, we think that it could be a little bit better. That's pretty unfortunate that they could have like did the similar thing with PS5 and actually showed it versus talked about it.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm not that impressed. But I don't know.
Yeah.
The one thing they haven't really talked about too much is their quick resume, which is like one of their big features, where basically similar to what we talked about, like you basically have a game and you want to flip to another game. It'll pause what you did and then continue where you left off in the other game. And I think you can actually have up to 3 or 4 games where it has their own pause. And then you could just quickly jump from each game and resume where you left off. And I think they keep that same resume state for like a week, I believe, maybe 2 weeks. I forget the exact time frame. So like, let's say you want to come back in a week where you just resume where you left off and you don't have to worry about booting the game completely or closing it completely in order to start up a new game.
Yeah. It seems a little like over the top and unnecessary, but I guess it's kind of cool. I mean, that's like a very first world thing, right? Like I have 3 games to play. So let me just put this one on pause and then play this one. I'm bored with
I
this
know for
one.
me, I do that. Like I would play 3 different games, and it's always cool to like just resume where you left off instead of closing the game and then watching the entire opening cinematic and then going to the start menu, loading your game, and then you're in the game versus just going back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, I do this. I do the same thing too, I guess. So
Yeah, but I agree though. It is a first world problem for sure.
yeah, but in
All
the
right,
end,
but
I wouldn't say that I was more impressed with the PlayStation 5's updated UI. Just much more cleaner. You
I
know,
agree.
like they're both very fast. They're both very seamless. Both of them. Well, the PlayStation 5 looks like it might do the whole pause the game thing. But
Yeah.
it's just much more cleaner and less cluttered.
All right, guys, rolling into Talos Tidbits now. Basically, a quick announcement real quick before we get started. Obviously, we're still doing our Cyberpunk 2077 giveaway. That will be live until the release of Cyberpunk on the 19th. So definitely have it ready. Be sure to check out the link in the description if you guys want to enter to win. Now, rolling into the first article here, basically the continuation of Apple versus Epic Games. At least one court decision has been made where basically the judge prevents Apple from blocking Unreal Engine games from appearing in their stores, which is what we talked about in our previous discussions, how the Unreal Engine encompasses multiple games, and that's going to affect a lot of games, especially those are maybe not as big as like Fortnite, for example, and have that financial backing. So that's a good news for those who use the Unreal Engines and want to produce games for the iOS devices. Going back to some more PS5 news, it looks like we get the first ever world premiere of the physical PS5 game of Godfall, and it shows a picture of here of that first game ever produced for the PS5. Speaking of Sony, it looks like they also trademark the upcoming PS6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And the reason why is because if you go to the next article, Sony is having trouble launching the PS5 in India because somebody in India actually trademarked the PS5. So they're having some legal disputes there in order to plan the release accordingly in India. So in terms of the rest of the world, it's going to be fine, but for some reason for India, it's having issues with the trademark for the PS5. So Final Fantasy 16 news, it looks like it's already completed the basic development of this. As we saw from the trailer, we saw large-scale cutscenes, some character actions, and even some gameplay featured with FF16. Still no release date on it, but it looks like it might be sometime in 2021. We'll get some more information, at least on the title. Some new reports came in for Microsoft bringing the Xbox Game Pass to iOS in early 2021. Some Rockstar news, looks like they acquired another studio. So the Rockstar Games, the company behind the likes of Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, and Bully has acquired a new studio. That studio being a Scottish studio known as Rufflin Games. They're the guys that worked on the Master Chief Collection and Crackdown 2. So it looks like the new company here will be known as the Rockstar Duty, which is their moniker for the new studio. So let's see what games they would make. In local news, especially for those who live in Las Vegas, looks like Atari is building their own hotel, and they released some concept images for that Las Vegas location. What's cool about this is that it's going to be themed around video games, not just Atari video games, but video games in general. And eventually, myself as well as a good friend of mine, we're going to be doing a review on this hotel when it actually launches. So reports here says that it's tentatively slated to open sometime in 2022. News on Nintendo suing a TikTok star, Pokey Princess. According to this article here, it looks like she can no longer go by the name of Pokey Princess, and she is now, I guess, known online as Digital Princess instead, and she can't, I guess, talk anything about Nintendo in her videos for TikTok. As you know, Nintendo is very notorious for shutting down and doing cease and desist for anybody using Nintendo properties, and this is just one example of Nintendo doing their cease and desist. Rolling into the next article, obviously this is not confirmed yet, but it looks like this will be a very cool idea. We saw a glimpse of this on the movie for the multiverse for Spider-Man, but it looks like in terms of Spider-Man, the live action, we might see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appearing in the next Spider-Man. Whether it be in the realm of MCU or whether it be in the next Spider-Verse movie that's coming out. Still rumored, but hopefully we hope have our sights out for that upcoming announcement. The final article here that we want to kind of showcase here, which is kind of funny. There's been rumors of people that's been kind of angry about the fact that these 10 specific games won't be available for backwards compatibility for the PS4. Obviously, we have the full list of it in the description, but some games we don't even know about. Joe's Diner, We Sing, Just Deal With It, Afro Samurai 2, for example. The list goes on. And the reason behind not including it to the backwards compatibility is the fact that some of these developers may not even exist anymore. There's no support for it or any fan support for it, really. But nevertheless, those are 10 games confirmed not to appear for backwards compatibility for the PS4. Or, for the PS5. Obviously, that concludes the Talos Tidbits. If you guys want to see any of the articles I talked about, definitely check out the description down below for the full details, everything we talked about. Now, back to the main news.
Alrighty, moving on to our next topic here. Microsoft has been in the news. Most recently, they acquired ZeniMax Studios. And now it seems that they entered into a multi-year partnership deal with GameStop.
Now, this is a little bit different because they didn't like flat out buy GameStop. They just had in a partnership with GameStop, which is different from ZeniMax.
Yeah. GameStop seems to be like that zombie that people just refuse to die, or like that old car that people, a really, really old car that people are just like keeping it updated and stuff like that. But people just won't let it die. GameStop, they reported that they were gonna lay off like thousands of employees and close off like hundreds of stores, and it just seemed like they were just on its last legs. But apparently, Microsoft is injecting some new life into the retailer. Just 1 month prior to the launch of the Xbox Series X console, GameStop has announced a new multi-year partnership with Microsoft. The new partnership between GameStop and Microsoft is seen as a strategic move for both companies, as they will combine their resources for mutual benefit. Is this partnership addressing the one thing GameStop is getting wrong? Now let's like analyze it real quickly here. Why is GameStop failing? I want to say that the rise of digital media has sort of hurt it, because like a lot of the money that GameStop used to make was like reselling of old games, right? Now because digital games have become so popular right now and so mainstream, there's not a lot of reselling going on.
Yep. And what's even crazier, we talked about it before, like let's look at like the PS5 with their digital only console. That in itself shows like, people are not going to be getting physical copies if they get that console. Like they're all going to be downloading the game directly from the store, cutting off that middleman, GameStop. Like
when gamers go into GameStop, they know what they're looking for. You know what I mean? It's mostly just like older folks or like parents who aren't gamers who might want to ask someone who works there like for advice on what to get, some like a nephew or a son or something like that, a game. But most gamers, they know exactly what they're looking for. I feel like this technology that Microsoft is offering them is kind of pointless. And right now, like with the partnership, Microsoft is expecting to sell a lot of next-gen Xbox consoles. But to be honest, they're not even really that popular right now. I read an article earlier. They were saying how 75% of next-gen pre-orders are all PlayStation 5.
It's true.
So it's not like it just seems more like a desperate move to get a couple of next gen Xbox consoles sold or something.
Exactly, like another way for Microsoft to sell their console to just people that go to GameStop. And like I don't know, but when was the last time you ever stepped on a GameStop?
Honestly, there's a GameStop in my neighborhood. I did walk in there. I forgot the game I was pre-ordering. I did pre-order a game from there like a long time. But for the most part, I haven't shopped there recently. Because like I said, I
Yeah.
mean, like I know what I'm looking for. You know, I don't have to go to GameStop. Like I can order something on Amazon, and it usually arrives, you know, on my doorstep like 2 days or something like that. And with the rise of
Yeah.
digital media, you can always just buy your games digitally.
And
My
like
last couple of
we
games I
talked.
bought were all digital, so that's the reason why I haven't
Mm.
stopped into GameStop recently.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this before, but like me specifically, I don't buy a lot of like physical games. Only games that I really want physically, like if they come with a cool like collector's edition, where like a figurine or something like that, or a statue
Yeah.
or something cool like that, like that I can grab on like with my hand. But for the most part, is digital games, and kind of like everyone was saying, like it's just so convenient. It just goes straight to the PSN store or the Xbox store, buy from there directly. And also too with the whole thing with the Game Pass, there really is no need for physical games. You think, right? Kind
Exactly.
of let's talk about
Exactly.
that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of their plan here is to sell more Game Pass subscriptions along with, like, you know, the next gen consoles. But
Yeah,
yeah, but I think like recently GameStop was moving more towards selling gaming merchandise like shirts and like action
yeah,
figures and plushies and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe that's one thing they can really start focusing on. It's like, you know, like
yeah.
actual physical stuff. You know, there's still demand for that type of stuff.
There is, yeah.
But
Like, to me that makes sense if they go more merchandise, like statues or action figures, headphones. I know they're selling like iPhones as well. So they're definitely branching to that direction, but they haven't really expanded too much on it.
yeah,
So maybe with the help from Microsoft, they can like maybe branch out, like sell like Microsoft products as well, not just what is it called, games, but or consoles, but like other stuff that they have. I don't know what are the physical things they have. They could sell graphics cards too. I don't know, like
mm.
just more physical stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and just not games. But it seems here like they're just in it to sell um the
Subscriptions.
subscriptions and, you know, the consoles. But the thing is, it's too early to tell. You know, maybe it might work, maybe not. I think Microsoft is taking a bit of a gamble doing this, but you know, if anyone can gamble on it, it's them because they definitely have the money for it. So even if they
Correct.
lose out on it, it's not a big loss.
Yeah, and this is kind of been a meme as well with Microsoft. But anything that Microsoft touches, if they don't put a lot of investment in it, it's going to quickly die. Like, you know, the recent example, Mixer, quickly died when Microsoft bought it. You know, like I think less than 2 years or whatever it was. They quickly just stopped investing in it, and that quickly died, and now it's gone. Their Windows Phone, that quickly died as well.
Mhm.
Not and even their like Windows like surfaces, whatever. Most people just go with iPads, you know, like if they want a tablet. I don't really see a lot of people personally that have Surface Pros or anything like that. So that to me seems like a dying market for them as well. Um, and so there's a lot of failed projects that Microsoft bought, and they're not putting that much emphasis on or investment in. They recently bought Skype and try to integrate that into like their Windows computer, but most people don't even use Skype that much, specifically in the US, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Nowadays, it's all Discord and Zoom. So the one positive from all this is it does keep GameStop afloat, which means people who work at GameStop are still able to work. You know, so it's still
yeah,
like
that's a big one.
maintaining jobs. So for those people, I think it's like a good thing. And I'm not saying I hope it fails. You know, I hope it does succeed. You know, for both GameStop and Microsoft.
Hmm.
I hope it does succeed. But like I said, it's right now. It was just recently. It's like a recent thing. It just recently rolled out, and it's still too soon to tell. And we'll find out. You know, when November comes and the consoles all released, maybe a couple months we'll have some more tangible data All right, that's it for the news for now. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. We'll try to keep you guys updated on developing stories. And as usual, if you enjoyed the video, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. And comment down below. Now, for like a while now, GameStop has been a sinking ship. Do you think this new partnership with Microsoft is enough to, bring it back to life? What do you guys think?
But of course, guys, if you want to continue the conversation, definitely join us on our Twitch. We do stream there every Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And also, check out our Discord as well. We also do community streams and community chats there. Definitely follow us there for interactions with the Studley boys. But that's all I got.
Studley signing out. See you guys later.
All right, later, guys.